There is another term which you should be familiar with, and that is constitutionalism. Now, what is constitution? You know, constitution is the basic fundamental law according to which the country is governed. Now, all the other laws that are enacted by the legislative organ of the government must be in tune with this basic fundamental law. And if it goes against this basic fundamental law, such a law is declared as unconstitutional. In simple words, Constitution tells us that what form of government will be there in the country, which will be the different organs of the government, what rights would be enjoyed by the people, what limitations would be there over the government, or in very standard words, we can say that it is the basic law of the land. It is the basic fundamental law which tells us that how the country would be governed. Clear? In the past, rulers had unlimited authority and they would rule the land at their whims and fancies. But with the emergence of constitutions, now all countries are governed by a supreme law. Now, this supreme law is known as constitution. Now, how powerful is a constitution in a particular country, or whether there is constitutional supremacy in that country, it depends upon the form of government that these countries have adopted and their history. The struggles, the national movements, all of them determine that how the constitution for that country will look like. But in very simple words, constitution is the basic fundamental law which tells us that how the country will be governed, which will be the organs of the government, what rights would be enjoyed by the people, what limitations would be imposed over the government, etc. Now, there is another term which you should be familiar with, and that is constitutionalism. Constitutionalism, in simple words, means a limited form of government. It means a government which is under the constitution. Now, you see that again, if you go into the historical past, you will find rulers who were authoritative, totalitarian in their approach when it came to govern the country. But if you have the ideals of constitutionalism established in a land, it means that the government would be a limited government. There would be definite fetters over the government, and the government shall not be able to exceed those limitations. And if the government exceeds those limitations, such actions of the government would be unconstitutional. Like, say for example, we have in our constitution in the part 3 some basic rights which we call as fundamental rights, and no government can take away those rights. It means that the governments have some limitations in our country, and those limitations have been imposed over the government by the constitution. This idea of limitation which is imposed by a constitution over working governments is known as constitutionalism. Constitution is the supreme law which tells us that how the country would be governed, whereas constitutionalism is the idea which provides for a limited government. It means it is not an unlimited, authoritative, totalitarian government which can do anything, whatever it desires to. So, constitutionalism and constitution, these are two separate ideas, and I hope that it is clear to you.